Henry Pollock will be as good as Richie McCaw. He might even end up being better. With another outstanding performance for Northampton Saints in their Champions Cup game versus Claremont Auvergne, with stats of 1 try, 14 carries, 2 defenders beaten, 8 tackles, 4 turnovers. I feel like he just gets better and better the more he plays. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments if I'm crazy. What do you guys think of this comparison? What do you think of Henry Pollock? Do you see him heading in that way that could potentially put him in the category of one of the best players to ever play the game? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So there's been some absolute freaks that have donned the 7 jumper for their country. You're looking at guys like Peter Steph-Dutoit, Richie McCaw, George Smith, Michael Hooper, Juwan Smith, Sam Cane, but none more exciting than Henry Pollock. Some of his gym stats that went viral this week, some freakish stats there. You're looking at 230 kilogram squat, 4.25 bronco time. You got 10 meters per second sprinting or max velocity and 140 kilo bench for 2 reps. Before you all come for me in the comments because I'm comparing Henry Pollock to the GOAT, Richie McCaw. Yes, that's obviously absurd. Richie McCaw, one of the best to ever do it and will be for a very long time. 3 times World Player of the Year, 2 Rugby World Cups, numerous Bledisloe Cups, numerous Tri-Nations, numerous Super Rugby titles. But what I'm doing here is going to be comparing the 2 careers, where they started and the trajectory. So what we're looking at from when they started their illustrious careers, so Richie McCaw's and Henry Pollock's, and how that adds up and where we could see Henry Pollock go within the next 10, 15 years. And when I was comparing the 2, the similarities on this is scary. We'll run through Richie McCaw's first, right? So Richie McCaw, under 19 World Cup winner or World Champ winner with New Zealand, 2 years in the under 21 setup. On his second year there, he won Player or Age Group Player of the Year in New Zealand. Player of the Year in 2001 in the MPC. Debut for the All Blacks at 20 years old versus Ireland, gets man of the match. All right? Now we look at Henry Pollock's. Captain England under 18. Scores a hat-trick on his 6 Nations under 20 debut. Player of the tournament that year. He wins the under 20 Rugby World Cup. England A debut, gets man of the match. England senior debut at 20 years old versus Wales, comes off the bench and scores 2 tries. Very, very similar. Now, yes, Richie McCaw started his first game for New Zealand and got man of the match, where Henry Pollock has come off the bench and scored 2 tries. It's very, 2 different, but very, very similar, all right? I just feel like where Henry Pollock and Richie McCaw started their international careers, so at age group level, and how they exceeded in those levels and the trajectory of that, both debuting for their country at 20 years old. They both played under 18s or under 19s, both played under 20s, 21s. Because back in Richie McCaw's day, they only had under 19s and then jumped to 21s, where now there's an under 18s and then it jumps to under 20s. So both played that, then make that next step to international, where Richie, starts, gets man of the match. Henry Pollock comes off the bench and scores 2 tries. Both massive impacts in their debut game. Now, obviously, Richie had an illustrious career and he's one of the best to ever do it. I stand by that massively. But could we see someone like Henry Pollock match that or even exceed that? Longevity and consistency will be big factors in Henry Pollock's career and how his career ends up going. But damn, he's definitely got the skill to reach those heights for sure. He is an absolute freak. Probably the only thing that's against him right now is the quality of rugby being played across the board, or the quality of players across the board. So the competition for spots is a lot higher. The physicality is a lot higher. The athletes are so much faster, so stronger. So just all round, the competitiveness is definitely, it's gone up 2 or 3 notches from when Richie McCaw played. That's not taking anything away from Richie McCaw. He was one of the best and still is one of the best. And I think if he played now, he would still have that kind of career. But looking at what Henry Pollock is doing right now in these big games, Champions Cup game this weekend, we absolutely balled out. First game for England, debut versus Wales, comes on, scores 2 tries. Like, man, you've got to say there's something in that. And he's, without a doubt, rugby's next biggest superstar, or is right now rugby's biggest superstar. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye.